Hey, happy Saturday, you guys. This Saturday, 27th, man. I got me a good night's rest, man, last night. Boy, I clocked in on some sleep. But anyway, I finished on Halloween Kills, man. I'm starting to think this was my favorite one out of the latest three. Not sure yet. But honestly, I'm gonna tell you straight off the rip, I really enjoy we watching these Halloweens, man. I ain't gonna lie. I got up this morning. I was like, man, I'm gonna finish this Halloween Kills, man. But I think this was my favorite one because I was so jacked up when they was gonna bring back the Halloween, because Halloween. A lot of us grew up with Halloween. I mean, not just my decade. I mean, our decade is the one that started Halloween, but then there's so many people that grew up with Halloween, and it's just uh, I just literally got done watching this, and I have to say this one was. I remember when I went and seen this one. This one was pretty good. Uh, you know that when he came out of that house was on fire, and he killed all those those firemen. That was a good shot. That was a good scene. There was some really bloody. Uh, there was some good gore in here. I mean, they made sure they checked all the boxes because the gore was on point. You know, uh, the two guys that bought the house and redid the house, and then the kids that played the trick or treat uh, gag on them. I remember the first time I watched that, and I watched it again. I said, "Yeah, I remember this part, man. Those kids got them real good and stuff." And then you know, uh, Little John, Big John, Little John, Big John. That was pretty sick because they was calling each other in the house, man. And then Michael Myers did some crazy kills though, man. He got the two guys that was living in that house, man, the house that they rebuilt. He goes, "You want to know who lived in this house?" He goes, "It was Michael Myers," and he stabbed his sister in the tits. And those little kids was like, "We're not scared." And then it's like they started messing with, made them run away. And then when they went back in the house, they went back in the house, but then it flipped back into the hospital scene. But the hospital scene, I ain't gonna lie, for some reason, the hospital scene, watching it again, I remember that I thought that the hospital scene was a little annoying for some strange reason. Another part I really like was when that Dr. Loomis wannabe tried to kill that one main sheriff, and he ended up surviving. And he said I had a chance to kill him and all that, and then it went back. And when they did that, when I first watched that, I said, now they did a real good job of going back and capturing that way that was filmed and the way that area was filmed. They did a really good job with that. I thought they did an exceptionally good job. Uh, that backstory of the cops, uh, and when they first caught Michael Myers, because when that one guy tried to kill Michael Myers and he shot his partner and shot him in the neck by accident, and then Michael Myers ended up going outside, and then all the cops surrounded him and stuff, and then he just stood there and he was telling that story. So you had backstories. Here's the part that's really impressive after watching it again. You have backstories after backstories because if you really pay attention, the girl that had the boyfriend that played the Bonnie and Clyde, he was playing Bonnie and she was the Clyde, and he ended up finding the wounded guy that was stabbed by that Dr. Loomis wannabe, and he was the son of one of the kids that was trick or treating, and he was talking about his encounter with Michael Myers, and then the two chicks. There was a chick that had an encounter. She was a survivor of the original attack, and she ended up getting killed. Then you had that black couple that was the guy was the nurse and she was the doctor. There was some parts in there. She goes, I'm a doctor and he's a nurse," and the guy's like, "Imagine that," or something like that. Was a comment that was made. There was some comedic parts in there. Everybody in here did a good job. They really, to me, looked like they enjoyed this second one. I really do. I think they was like, I feel like they was like, "Oh man, let's." I don't know, man. It's just that first one did so well to me, and then when you factor in when they made the second one, I think they was on that second one, man. I just got done watching literally because I wanted to see if I still like it, and I did. I did. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna do the Rob Zombie ones because I only like one of those Rob Zombie ones, but I'm not gonna. go back and watch it. But there was so many little bitty breadcrumbs in this movie that he goes. That one guy's like, he said, I'm gonna put a bullet in his brain. He killed my, there was one where he killed his daughter. They put that in there. What else was in there that I really liked? The whole town didn't realize what they were dealing with because this thing was pure evil. Because when they thought that, when she, they always trying to hunt him down, and then the daughter and her boyfriend that was at the Halloween party. What else I liked was there's a woman in there. She goes, I can't find my son. I know he's in here. And she goes, he's not brought him in here. And then it just kept flashing, showing her randomly. And then it showed her looking in this room. And then she found that her son was already killed by Michael Myers, which was the one that was trying to make a pass when they were going home because that girl was mad at her boyfriend because he was kissed. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I was like, oh man, that's pretty slick. They put that in there, and she seen that he was, he had died by Michael Myers' hand, and then they were all in the hospital. And then the one guy, Anthony Michael Hall, was like, he was like, he's evil dies tonight, evil dies tonight. And then the sheriff was trying to calm everything down. He goes, no, you guys did not do your job, man. He goes, and this is what's going on. And he was trying to say that Michael was coming to the hospital to get Laurie, but actually that Dr. Loomis wannabe is the one that was really getting Michael Myers to be where she was at. I like how they put a little bit of more explanation in there because, they said, well, how Michael Myers knew that she lived over here and everything like that? He didn't know that she lived over there. It was that Dr. Loomis wannabe. I call him Dr. Loomis wannabe. There was some good stuff in here, you guys. There's some good stuff in here. I was sitting here watching it. I was watching it, but I need my sleep because, man, I feel like $1,000,000 this morning. I got me some rest, man. I'm ready to rock and roll. You know what I mean? But I just got done watching it. And I'm gonna work out and take a walk today. It's a pretty day out today. Early in the morning right now, but I just got done eating my breakfast. But the part where they all when she said, man, the kills in here was pretty gory though. Like with her boyfriend, when her boyfriend, the daughter of Laurie's daughter, her boyfriend, the Bonnie and Clyde couple that played Halloween, and his dad, he was like, they were driving over there and they was going to the Michael Myers house because it had been redone by the two dudes that bought it. And he goes, I remember Michael. He was telling a story about how his encounter with Michael Myers, and then that was that boy's dad. And then the girl, which is Laurie Strode's daughter's daughter. It was pretty slick. I was watching it and I kept saying to myself, man, I'm really digging this one, man. But man, when he killed, when he. It said, let me go in the house. And she's like, forget that. You think we're going to let you go in the house? And they let him go in the house by himself. But you know how movies are. So he went in there by himself and then they heard a shot. They both went in there. So they go up to the door and he gets on one side. She goes to the other side. And he's like, I said, all right, dude, take point. I'm saying to myself, dude, you're going to have to take point. She takes point. I was like, ain't this. But so they go upstairs to get, and the couples, Michael Myers had laid him out like their photo when they first met. And she goes over there and looks at the bodies and she's feeling bad. She pulls the knife out. I said, chick, you got a big gun. Do not let that gun down. So she pulls the knife out and stuff. And then he kind of like lingers off to one side and stuff. And that's when he got by Michael Myers. But Michael Myers took his time, boy. Michael Myers really put him in. I mean, he made him suffer. I was sitting there going to myself, damn, dude, you really making him suffer, man. Like, and he's making all that noise. I'm sitting there saying to myself, man, how much would it take for you to, Michael Myers was, she was like, come and get me, you little mother. She's downstairs and she's watching him. At this, because he had pushed her down the stairs because she tried to shoot him, but she missed him, and then she stabbed him a couple times. Though, man, she got some points in there, man. I was like, all right, you go, girl. But then when he got her boyfriend, then when he put his neck on when he jammed his neck in between that step thing and stuff, and he was sitting there going, ugh, ugh. I said, dude, you should be gone by now. And then Michael Myers getting ready to walk downstairs, and she's like, all mad and stuff, and she goes, "Don't you touch him, don't you touch him." Michael stops and looks at him and turns his head completely around. It's like, yeah, man, that's a good money shot, man. I remember sitting in his chair right here going, damn. I was like, dang. And then so then he comes down there, and then they getting ready to fight. So she's down there trying to fight him and stuff. She's weak because he hurt her. Oh, she broke her. Yeah, she broke her leg or ankle or something, man. And they did a good job when she came down all them steps and come down them steps and looked like she looked like they really did a good job making it look like she really broke her foot or whatever she broke. She like, and she yelled real good. She really yelled to where it really did like it was for real. What else? Um. So then she's like, "Come on, you son, do it, just do it." And then she looks behind her, mom's behind her with that pitchfork, which really was a good scene. I'm sitting there watching this movie, man. I'm saying to myself, yeah, I realized how much I really like this one. I said to myself, I was like, yeah, this is, I said, I know why I like the second one so much. I like the first one too. These new three ones, three ones, but and then she pulls off his, but I mean, Judy Greer plays her mom, which is Laurie Strode's daughter. She's trying to protect her daughter, and then when he fell on the steps, she kicked him in the neck. I said, "Damn, I should have broke his neck, shouldn't I?" But she is a chick, so maybe they have to. Dude, kick you in the neck, man. You gonna be like. But anyway, he gets up, and then she looks at him. She pulls off his mask. He goes, "Yes, this is a mask," and he goes, "You killed your sister right upstairs." She goes, and he's just staring at her and stuff. And then I like how they faded his face. They made his face look creepy, but she was standing there and she pulled off his mask. She was looking up at him. I said they did a good job at that because she didn't directly see his face, but you could see him just staring at her like. And then he starts walking after her, and she's walking, and then she's running, and he's walking, obviously. And then she ends up putting him in this trap where that's when Michael Anthony Hall and the one that was getting everybody all worked up and they was all around him and all that. It was all kinds of people, man. They started doing him in and stuff. And then, they look like they did him in and stuff. And then it goes back to the hospital where Laurie Strode was talking about, they don't realize how evil he is. I mean, when you think he's down or when you think he's done and this, that, and the pure evil. Because Judy Greer's character, which was the one that plays Laurie Strode's daughter, was trying to protect her daughter. She ended up, after they do Michael Myers in, she goes and grabs a knife and stabs him real deep. And then Anthony Michael Hall, like that, he's kind of looks surprised. I was like, man, what the hell you looking so surprised for? Y'all just hit him with baseball bats and chains and stuff. But she was like, she stabbed him real well. And I'm saying to myself, I said, man, I thought she got killed, didn't she? I said, I know she got killed or something happened to her. So she goes back to her daughter and everything, and everybody's over there, and then it goes back to Laurie Strode in the hospital talking about, how evil he is and stuff, and then he's laying down, then he gets back up and he starts slicing and dicing, baby, slicing and dicing. I mean, he was slicing and dicing. Caught him off guard, man. He caught him with the guard down, man. Michael Myers knows how to catch you with your guard down. They all let their guard down. When he got up, man, they was like, what the? But when they went to, what the? That's when he went to, yeah, and then he started doing them in. Then he did Anthony Michael Hall, got him last. And then she, then she goes back upstairs and, while Laurie Strode's talking to the sheriff that was stabbed in the neck, she goes upstairs to try to envision how he just was in. Because you remember, that house got built, that house got redone by those two guys that he killed. So that was Michael Myers' original house where he grew up. And then, but I said to myself, Michael Myers must have came through the back door because they were all on the front porch. And then that's when Judy Greer got done in. I mean, he was stabbing the crap out of her. I was like, yeah, I kept saying, yeah, I thought you died. I said, because, yeah, I mean, the way he was stabbing her, man, he was putting some authority in there. Like, I hate to say this, but the way he was stabbing her, he's like, I got you, you bitch, because he put her through. She had, she, the way he was stabbing her, like, I got you, man, you little pain in the ass. Because he was, he was putting some stabbing on her. I said, yeah, you ain't surviving that like your mom survived. And then, show her laying down and stuff, and then she died, and then, show Michael Myers looking out out the window. And I said, yeah, I realized how much I really like this movie. But I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I got told y'all before, I'll tell you again. I'm not the type of person that can sit here and a lot of people. That's what they do. They like to get on here. They get a lot of subscribers, and they'll tell you. I know there's some Halloween movies, just like the Friday the 13th movies. I know there's a bunch of Friday the 13th movies in there that are terrible. I get it. And, you know, Michael Myers movies, I really wasn't big on the movies. I was only big on Halloween. Because every year, Halloween, this time of year, I always want to watch Halloween. So I would wear the first movie out. You'd probably be like, why would you wear that movie out when there were so many of them others you can watch? I just remember my young self, but graduating in 1978, and that movie came out, and it just has a sentimental value to me, and I just always go back to that movie. But revisiting them like I am now, I have to say, man, I really, really have been enjoying them. Another thing too is like when I watch, these movies, I take my time, because I'm not that type of YouTuber where I told y'all before, I always got to make sure I put this in these YouTube videos and when I get new subscribers, and again, I thank people for the few new subscribers that keeps trickling in and out. It's just that I don't want YouTube to be that type of channel where I feel like I got to upload something and I got to constantly watch something. I got to constantly do that. And since I've been doing that, I've been doing a lot better, like uploading stuff, because I take my time and be like, I can upload something because I'm done watching something. If I want to watch something, it takes me about 4 or 5 days or a week or two to get through it. I'll watch it and then I'll be like, now I can throw something up, And then sometimes when I forget something, I forgot I could just hit this pause button on here, and then I could think about what I forgot, and then I could just throw it in there. But overall, I enjoy all the Halloween movies. I don't really think Rob Zombie's Halloween movies are that bad either. I just don't want to watch his movies. I did love that one, but I don't feel like watching it. I'm just wanting to watch this trilogy. Rob Zombie sits over there by themselves, but I really only liked one Rob Zombie movie. I didn't like the second one. I didn't like the second one at all. I love that first one, but I ain't watching it though. Now I'm gonna end up doing Halloween Ends. I think that's what it's called. Halloween Ends. I'm gonna watch it probably a couple of days from now. But other than that, man, this was. It looks like they were having fun making this movie. I just every time I just watch the whole thing, it just seems like when I watch this movie, I said, man, they were enjoying themselves making this movie. I mean, they look like they was just all of them were on the set just enjoying themselves, even as bloody as it was, and I gotta give credit. They really did a good job far as the gore and the way they made it look. And that one guy that they was chasing, I was like, how big is that hospital when they was trying to chase the one guy they thought was Michael? I was like, that is not Michael, man. Y'all should know by now that ain't Michael. He's kind of short and stubby. Michael's kind of tall and lean. But, Anthony Michael Hall's character had him going because he was more or less like, evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. I'm sitting there going, please, man. I remember when I first watched that, though, I'm not going to lie, I kind of thought the hospital scene got a little annoying for some reason. When Laurie's like, let me on this bed. She goes, you don't even know. She grabbed this thing and she had no idea what was in it. And then their daughter's like, you don't even know what's in there. She goes, I don't care. And then she takes and jams that thing in the back of her rear end. And I went like this. I go, really? Really? I was like, I remember the first time I watched that, I didn't buy into that too much. I mean, I was a little bit over the top. I mean, it was okay. And she was like, oh, like that. And I was like, the hospital scene, man, I'm not going to lie. I ain't going to say I didn't like it. I'm just going to say it was a bit annoying. But they did throw in a lot of stuff while you were in that hospital. Because when you was in that hospital, you seen a lot of little breadcrumbs that connected a lot of things to a lot of stuff, which was pretty cool. I should have put a bullet in his head back when I was my daughter was one of the ones that he killed. He put that in there, and then uh, the woman that kept asking, "Have you seen my son?" I finally seen her son, the one that was trying to make a pass at that girl when they was walking home, and then Michael Myers killed him when them lights kept flickering on and off. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty slick. So there was little things inside that little hospital but the hospital just, and he was the sheriff that survived that neck injury, and he was telling Lloyd, he goes, no, it ain't about you. He says a lot of those people had, especially with those girls that like when they were in that car out in the park, and they were trying to go find Michael Myers and stuff, and they were all in the car, and Michael Myers was walking up, and he walked up on the car, and it's Michael Myers, and then the one girl, she had a gun, the other girl had a gun, but the guy the one black guy that was the nurse, I don't know what he had, but he got, man, that was man, he stabbed him in the eye, which look, he did a good job. And then the way he killed that one chick, how did he kill that chick? The chick that had the gun that was in the front, but that you have to understand there was a couple of them in there that Michael had ran into years prior, and he ended up killing them too. Overall, yeah, man, this is, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not quite sure, but I think this is out of the three. I think Halloween Kills is my favorite one. I like all Halloweens, man, and I probably won't be able to revisit Halloween anymore because I just ain't. Because what I'm saying is that if I watch Halloween next year this time of year, I'm not gonna put nothing up on my YouTube channel because I already did. But I ain't gonna lie, man. Friday the 13th, man. As much as I'm a big fan of Friday the 13th, man. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Friday the 13th. I don't know why I love that series so much, but I have to admit, man, I'm glad I went through all the Halloweens, man, because it's been a while since I've watched all of them, man. I mean, because I didn't think I was going to be able to. Well, that's just like Friday the 13th ones. I didn't think I was going to go through all those, and I finally went through all of them, and I was like, okay, I'm digging this. And yeah, there was a lot of them in there. It was like 3 or 4 of them that was kind of, but the only one of the Halloween ones that I think that is like the lowest one when I do a ranking of after I watch them all. Probably the one with Busta Rhymes in it. Like I said, I want to make it perfectly clear. I have nothing against Busta Rhymes. It's just that, hi, that just. I remember the first time I was like, come on, man. It's like, and I think it was another scene where he went, hi, did all that stuff. I'm like, I understand it was an entertainment kind of thing and it was trying to do something different. But the one with the little girl, though, the 2 movies that had the little girl in it, I thought that little girl did good holding up them Michael Myers movies because you didn't have no Laurie Strode in there. I thought that little girl did a good job. She's supposed to be Laurie Strode's daughter or niece or something like that. But Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't in those. It was that chick that played in the Crawley films. That little girl played in Crawley films. Hatchet. I really think that little girl did a good job. Her and Dr. Loomis, the guy that played Dr. Loomis, those movies with her and that little girl, they did good. But this, I just literally got done, man, and I'm getting ready. It's still early. It's super early. It's still in the morning. I'm gonna take me a walk and work out. But yeah, man, that Halloween ends is Halloween Kills. Yeah, I'm definitely. Yeah, man. What else can I say about that? Yeah, it's kind of weird how they left it off because they left it off with Michael Myers, looking out at his window and stuff. After he killed Lloyd Strobe's daughter, but Lloyd Strobes was in the hospital, like she could tell something wasn't right. I like how they left that cliffhanger. There's something else I wanted to say, but I think that's about it. I love the part, when he went to the park and had his little, he killed those people in the car. That was cool. When Laurie Strobe's daughter and her boyfriend and his dad went into the house at the end, that was cool. That setup was cool. The two guys that bought Michael Myers' house, and the one guy was smoking Little John, Big John. That scene was cool. The old couple, the black guy and the white guy is the old couple, man. They had that little helicopter drone they was playing, and that first opening up, it was an older couple, and they were flying that little toy airplane around or a little drone, and then you know, I just he killed those two people. That was earlier in the movie though, but I gotta say, they did a good job with this one. They did a real job. I mean, to revive the Halloween like this, they did a good job. Because I know a lot of people back in 2018 was excited about when the new Halloweens would come out. Because I remember when they were filming it, and they filmed it in North Carolina. So I remember when I kept looking, this is back in 2017, I kept reading up on it, and they was talking about they were almost done with it, and they was going to show a trailer and all that kind of stuff. Because it had been a while since they had made a newer version of the Halloweens. But actually, I kind of hope they put this to bed. I don't want them to revive it for a while. Let's just let it sit for a little bit. For about 10 or 12 years. Some of us might not be around like hit, but I kind of wish they would kind of leave things alone and kind of like try to look at current events of today and things that happened in the last 15 years or 20 years and try to come up with something that is in coordinates of what we see today, but just make a movie out of it instead of keep taking stuff and just redoing them. Try something like that, But what I did like about the first movie, though, I will say that they said that Michael Myers is, what Michael Myers does is the guy when they was walking down the sidewalk earlier in the first Halloween, of this three. He said, yeah, but that's nothing compared to stuff that's going on today. There's mass murders all the time and people doing and he had a point, because what Michael Myers did back then is like a drop in the bucket compared to all the stuff that happens now. So anyway, y'all, God bless, take care, and we'll catch you next video. But yeah, Halloween, let's see, Halloween ends. Right here, baby. Right here. Halloween Kills. I don't know why I keep saying Halloween Ends, because I'm going to go watch Halloween Ends here in the next couple days. But yeah, this is a smoker, man. This is a smoker. Yeah, this is just Halloween Kills. Now I'm gonna watch Halloween Ends here in the next couple days, but they did a really good job. A really good job. So we'll catch you next video. We'll see you.